Incredible moment, CEO discovers life-changing connection with 7-year-old who looks just like him. Tom Reynolds sat behind his glimmering desk in his corporate office, surrounded by plush furniture and futuristic screens, but even the view of the sprawling city skyline couldn't fill the void inside him. Each day, he chased success as if it held the key to patching up fractured relationships with his estranged wife and children. They were mere shadows in his memory, flickering like old film reels. Despite landing the coveted CEO title at 45, a profound isolation gripped him. He was adrift in luxury yet yearning for meaning. That bright Saturday morning, yearning for a change, Tom decided to volunteer at a community center. As he entered the lively space, adorned with colorful murals and resonating with laughter, his heart swelled. The energy buzzed around him, children ran and played, their joy palpable. Here, he hoped to reconnect with something he'd lost along the way. It was there that he first saw Billy, an exuberant 7-year-old with big brown eyes that sparkled with life. The boy's smile was infectious, brightening even the corners of Tom's heart that had become dusty and faded. For a fleeting moment, Tom felt as if a younger version of himself had materialized right in front of him. It was an incredible projection of potential that he wished he could relive. "Wow! You look just like me!" Billy exclaimed, grinning from ear to ear. Tom chuckled, an unexpected warmth spreading through him. They quickly formed a bond, but as he learned more about Billy's life, a single mother working tirelessly with little to offer, the heartache of their contrasting worlds became evident. Tom realized this boy's reality was so different from his own. Each session spent together unveiled a raw honesty about the joys and struggles of life. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. With each shared secret and dream, Tom became a guiding light for Billy, yet he knew that impending corporate responsibilities loomed over him like dark clouds. A major promotion beckoned, one that could pull him away from this spark of connection, from this child who had illuminated parts of him long hidden. A part of him craved the accolades that came with success, yet another part cried for the ties and trust he was forging with Billy. As days ticked by, the dichotomy of commitment and ambition tore at Tom's mind. Then, as if the universe conspired against him, disaster struck the community. An incident left them shaken, vulnerable. Billy's fears of abandonment flooded back, his innocent heart clashing against the weight of reality. Tom grappled with guilt and the desperate need to prove that familial bonds could still matter, even if they connected differently than he had once imagined. Standing on the precipice of change, Tom faced a crucial choice: could he redefine what family meant? As the clock ticked closer to his decision, he knew one thing for certain: Billy's hope hung in the balance, and time was running out. Would he cling to his corporate title, shuffling back into isolation, or could he take a leap towards a heartfelt connection that promised healing? The room pulsed with uncertainty, and just as he contemplated his next move, the door stood ajar, ready to change everything. The door creaked open, and Tom didn't know if he wanted to feel relief or fear. A soft voice broke through the silence. "Mr. Reynolds?" He turned to see Maria, the community center director, her face lined with concern. She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "We need to talk about what happened yesterday," she said, her voice steady yet laced with urgency. Tom swallowed hard, glancing around the office, as if hoping inspiration would spark from the gleaming surfaces. "Is Billy okay?" he asked, the words barely leaving his lips before anxiety gripped him. Maria gave a small nod, but her brow furrowed deeper. "He is, but there's been a lot of talk among the kids, especially after the incident near the park. Billy is really scared. He thinks he's going to lose you too." A sharp twist clenched Tom's stomach. He had unknowingly walked into a role that was becoming crucial for the little boy. I haven't promised him anything, Tom stammered. I mean, it was just volunteering. Her gaze pierced through him. To a child like Billy, every moment counts. He looks at you and sees someone who might care. You have a choice now: be a part of his life, or walk away. Tom's pulse quickened. Memories of his own children flashed uninvited through his mind: birthdays missed, soccer games unattended, moments lost that were now fractures too deep to mend. He felt small and unworthy in that large office, surrounded by achievements that felt meaningless in contrast to the sincerity of love and connection Billy offered. Is there any way I can help him? Tom finally asked. The words felt strange, but a flicker of hope danced inside him. Maria's expression softened, and she took a step closer. Just being there can make all the difference, Tom. All kids need is to feel seen and loved. But it might mean reshaping your priorities. Tom thought about the promotion approaching on the horizon, a dazzling title that seemed to glow brighter each day. But what good were those accolades if he continued to trade meaningful moments for cold accomplishments? I need to think, Tom murmured, grasping the desk for a steady anchor. Take your time, but know this life is full of choices. You can choose the world outside, full of emptiness, or choose connections that can fill your heart, Maria said, her voice warm yet firm, then turned to leave, leaving the door slightly ajar. Tom sat there, wrestling with the implications of her words. What would it take to open his heart again? He pictured Billy's bright smile and felt the heaviness in his chest ease just a little. Could he really step into this new role? Could he really become a father figure to a boy who so desperately needed one? After a long pause, he opened the door wider, stepping into the airy lobby. The sounds of laughter greeted him, but they were different now, charged with potential and possibility. He spotted Billy across the room, joyfully trying to balance on one foot. As he walked over, Tom felt a blend of anxiousness and excitement swell within him. He crouched to Billy's level. Hey, buddy. Can we talk for a minute? Billy's eyes lit up, but then clouded as he hesitated. Are you going to leave me too? The innocence in that question pierced Tom straight through. It was a chance to reassure him, a chance to define what was ahead. And right at that moment, Tom realized this was not just about him anymore. Not if I can help it, he replied, determination firm in his tone, but as the words left his mouth, the shadows of his corporate responsibilities loomed again, whispering their seductive promises of power and prestige. How could he balance it all? As Tom looked around the room, aware that the choice of a lifetime hung in the air, he understood it was time for him to embrace a new path, one that started with trust. Yet, the question lingered: could this choice mend the fracture in his own heart while nurturing a bond that could heal both him and Billy? With hope igniting the air around them, Tom took a deep breath. The journey was just beginning, and the stakes had never been higher. But would he have the courage to follow through? The answer felt just out of reach. Billy's eyes were wide, searching Tom's face for any hint of truth. In that moment, the laughter and chatter surrounding them faded, leaving just the two of them in a bubble of palpable tension. Tom reached a hand out, gently placing it on Billy's shoulder. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere, okay? Tom promised, his voice steady. I'd like to be a part of your life, if you'll let me. Billy's small shoulders relaxed a fraction, the tiniest hint of hope flickering in his eyes. Really? He said, as if the word itself was heavy with doubt. Really, Tom affirmed, a smile breaking across his face. But I also want you to know, sometimes we might mess up or have to take breaks. But I will always come back. The heaviness in his heart eased further at allowing himself to be vulnerable. For the first time in a long while, he felt something stir with life, something new. I'd like to show you how to ride a bike, Billy said, his confidence inching back as thoughts of adventure crept in. Mr. Gary showed me the other day. I fell down, but I got back up. Falling down is part of it, Tom replied, chuckling. I've fallen down plenty of times too. It was a fleeting admission, one that felt both cathartic and liberating. Just then, another child raced past, sending a wave of giggles rolling through the lobby. Billy's attention turned to the other kids, yearning to join their carefree fun. He started to fidget on the spot, his eyes darting back to Tom and then to his peers. "Why don't we go play?" Tom suggested. "You can show me your cool moves." Billy beamed, the shadow of fear lifting as excitement took hold. "Okay." He squealed, skipping toward a group of kids gathered around a game of tag. Tom watched him go, a warmth enveloping his heart. He felt a shift, something had started to knit itself back together inside him. Each laugh and yell from the children was like music, a symphony of youth pulsing with joy, but as he stood there watching, Tom felt an unsettling tug in his gut. The corporate meeting looming in his future felt heavy now, like a storm cloud that threatened to overshadow this newfound spark. What if he couldn't balance it all? What if the world of boardrooms and accomplishments swallowed him whole again? Just then, Maria appeared at his side, as if sensing his turmoil. "Tom, it's okay to be scared. Just know you're not in this alone anymore," she said softly, her hand resting reassuringly on his back. "Lean into it." He nodded, still watching Billy as he ran and laughed. "What if I mess it all up?" "Then we learn," Maria replied, her voice laced with sincerity. "You're trying. That's what matters." Tom took a deep breath, letting her words settle into his core. Right then, he realized that for so long he had been running from connection, from real love, hiding behind titles and achievements, when what he truly desired was just the opposite. Billy dashed back over, breathless and full of excitement. "Can we go ride bikes now?" The question hung in the air, and for a moment, Tom hesitated. Could he truly take that leap? "Let us do it," he said finally, determination coursing through him. He felt something shift within, like stepping onto a path lit by possibility. As he jogged to catch up with Billy, laughter erupted from the kids, filling the space around them, transforming everything. But even as he ran, Tom couldn't shake the lingering thought, would he be able to show up for Billy when it really counted? The sun shone brightly overhead, each realization lighting a fire in his heart. It was a new beginning, yet the stakes felt infinitely high. As Tom chased after Billy, he could see a new chapter unfolding before him. But would the choices he needed to make lead him to the closure he and Billy truly needed? That question lingered in the air, an unresolved thread in the tapestry of a life he was just beginning to weave. As Tom and Billy made their way outside, the air felt electric. The sway of the world beyond the building pulsed with energy, the sounds of laughter and the distant whirring of bike tires welcoming them. Billy's small hands were fidgeting with excitement, his eyes sparkling under the bright sun. "Come on, Tom. Over here." Billy shouted, leading the way to a nearby park where a row of bikes stood waiting. Tom followed, his heart racing, not just from the thrill of the moment but as he braced for the uncertainties ahead. "How about that one?" Billy pointed to a bright blue bike with training wheels. "That's perfect for you, champ," Tom said, smiling as he knelt next to it. He fiddled with the handlebars, recalling the tender moments of his own childhood. The simplicity of this task reminded him how far from that joy he had drifted. Billy climbed onto the bike, wobbling comically for a moment before stabilizing himself. "I can do it," he proclaimed, joy spilling over with every word. Tom felt a swell of pride. It was a beautiful sight, Billy, determined and brave. "Just like you got back up after falling." With careful guidance, Tom steadied the bike, holding it firmly. "Ready?" he asked, looking Billy in the eyes. "Ready," Billy shouted, the confidence bubbling up inside him. Tom pushed gently as Billy began to pedal. For a moment, everything was blissful. The laughter of children echoed around them, the sun glinted off the bike's frame, and every squeak of the wheels made it all feel like a dream. But deep down, doubt crept in. What if Billy fell? What if he got hurt? Would Tom be able to handle it if that happened? The questions nagged at the edges of his heart like a quiet storm. "Look, I'm doing it!" Billy yelled, pumping his legs faster. Yes. You are. Tom cheered, letting go for just a heartbeat. Billy teetered, but he caught his balance. Tom's heart soared, yet he couldn't help but wonder just how long this moment would last. But as Billy rode, the joy radiated off him like sunlight. He glanced back at Tom, a mixture of joy and exhilaration. I'm gonna go faster. Wait. Be careful. Tom called out, his heart thumping wildly. Suddenly, Billy took a sharp turn, and the bike tipped. Time slowed, and Tom's breath caught in his throat. He dashed forward, reaching out just as Billy's bike hit the ground with a thud. Time froze as Billy tumbled off, landing in a heap beside the bike. It felt as though the air had evaporated, the laughter of the children fading into silence. Billy! Tom shouted, rushing to his side. Billy lay there for a brief moment, shock flashing across his face, tension filled the air, each second stretching longer than the last. Are you okay? Tom asked, kneeling down, a wave of fear washing over him. Billy blinked, his lips quivering as he inhaled sharply. For that frozen moment, Tom's heart raced. What if his promise of being there for Billy crumbled in front of him? Then, the slightest giggle escaped Billy's lips. I'm fine, just a little scared. Tom suggested, his voice steady even when his heart felt broken open. Yeah. But it was kinda fun. Billy chuckled, his spirits lifting. Relief rushed through Tom, washing away the tension that had taken hold. He enveloped Billy in a gentle hug, feeling the warmth of his small frame against him. Next time, maybe we take it slower, huh? Okay. Billy grinned widely. As they settled back, laughter erupted once more around them. The other kids returned to their games, and even with the uncertainty that loomed over Tom's gaze, he felt a flicker of hope spark anew. But what about the next fall? Would he still be there to catch him? Tom's heart raced with the weight of the question. As he smiled back at Billy, he couldn't shake the understanding that their journey had just begun. But in that moment of laughter and whispered fears, something deep inside him began to stir. Could this new adventure lead to healing for both of them? Tom patted Billy on the back, ready for another try. Let's get back on the bike, champ. We've got more races to run. And as they prepared for another round, Tom couldn't help but wonder, what other falls awaited them on this path, and would they be able to rise together when they happened? Billy beamed as he clambered back onto the bike, determination etched into his features. Tom felt a sense of unity wash over him, as if they were two adventurers embarking on a quest. He steadied the bike once more, feeling the warmth of the sun on his skin. All right, champ, focus on me, Tom instructed, speaking gently but firmly. Pedal straight and don't look back until it's time. Billy's eyes widened, and he nodded vigorously. Got it. Tom pushed the bike forward again, this time more cautious. Each turn of the pedals filled Tom with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Billy's laughter rang out, a joyful sound that seemed to weave through the air. It was a melody that reminded Tom of sunny days spent with friends, the bike rides that had carved up his own childhood. Look! I'm going far! Billy yelled, his voice tinged with thrill. Just as Billy started to feel the freedom of speed, his little face scrunched in concentration. Tom cheered him on from the side. You're a natural. But then, just as quickly, reality reared its head. Billy's focus shifted for just a second, and the bike wobbled. Tom's heart raced. Billy! He cried out, his instincts kicking in, ready to reach out again. Billy managed to correct his balance, but uncertainty flicked through Tom like a lightning bolt. What if he couldn't keep this up? What if he wasn't enough? Just steady, don't hurry. I'm right here. Tom called, trying to mask the worry clenching his gut. Billy turned to look at him, his courage battling against the fear creeping in. I can do it. He shouted defiantly, as if challenging the very air around him. And with that, he pushed harder on the pedals. He was off, zipping away like a small rocket, but as the distance grew, so did Tom's fears. The world around them blurred with quick flashes of excitement, echoing laughter, and the unmistakable thrill of freedom. Then, suddenly, Billy took a corner too sharply again. The bike tipped precariously, surrendering to gravity. Tom lunged forward, but the moment hung heavy in the air. Time slowed as Billy fell, landing in the grass with a soft thud. Tom reached him in a heartbeat, the thrill of their shared adventure swiftly replaced with a worry that wrapped around his heart like a vice. "Billy!" he shouted again, kneeling by his side, searching his small face for any sign of pain. "Tom!" Billy gasped, then let out another giggle, and Tom couldn't tell if it was mania or delight. "That was insane. I can't believe you think that was fun. You scared me." Tom chuckled, relief flooding him as he helped Billy sit up. "I want to do it again," Billy exclaimed, his eyes shining brighter than before. Tom shook his head, a bemused smile spreading across his face. "Okay, but how about we try a slower approach this time?" Billy's smile didn't falter. "Slow is boring. Sometimes slow helps us enjoy the ride," Tom said, his voice lowering a bit. "And you know what? It helps us get back on track when we fall." Billy thought for a moment, his brow furrowing. "You mean like real life? It's okay to fall as long as you get back up. Like you and me?" "Exactly," Tom replied, the point of connection hitting hard. It was in that moment he understood that not only was he guiding Billy, but they were both on this road together. As they prepared for the next round, Tom couldn't shake the feeling that each scrape and bruise, every moment of laughter and joy, was building something unstoppable between them. But just then, a familiar figure appeared in the distance, and Tom's heart sank. It was his ex-wife, the tight lines of her face hinting at trouble. "Tom!" she shouted, her voice cutting through the laughter. He paused, unease creeping back in as he exchanged worried glances with Billy. What new challenge was about to emerge in this beautiful moment? Tom felt a wave of uncertainty wash over him as he watched his ex-wife approach. The laughter that had filled the air moments ago faded into a heavy silence. Billy, still catching his breath, turned his head and squinted against the sunlight, clearly confused by the sudden change in energy. "Tom!" she shouted again, and there was something in her voice that made his stomach knot. Would this be a reason to disrupt their moment? "Stay here, all right?" Tom said, his tone light but his heart thudding. He gave Billy a reassuring smile, hoping it would hold up the walls of their shared joy for just a little longer. As he walked toward her, Tom felt every muscle in his body tense. The last time they had spoken had ended in accusations, hurtful words that echoed long after the conversation faded. Now, those old ghosts clawed their way back into his mind. "Tom," she said more softly now, her expression softening slightly as they neared each other. "I need to talk to you. It's important." "Can it wait?" he asked, glancing back at Billy, who was now fidgeting with the grass, innocence cloaking him like a shield. She hesitated, the lines of her face deepening. "It's about him. He needs to know." The air between them crackled with tension. Tom's heart raced. "Know what? What could you possibly want to say that could make this worse?" He shot back, frustration bubbling up. This was how he envisioned their reunion, not with Billy right there, not while they were amidst laughter and freedom. "Let us step aside. Just for a moment, please," she implored, her voice lowered so it felt almost like a whisper. He could see the worry mirrored in her eyes, something deeper that suggested she was still holding on to their past. As if she could hear the unspoken hurt lingering between them, taking a deep breath, Tom relented and nodded. They both stepped away from the kids' laughter, and a chill settled around him, contrasting the warmth of the day. "What is it?" Tom demanded, though there was a hint of dread swirling inside him. She glanced back at Billy, a flash of sorrow crossing her features. "I've been thinking a lot about what happened, what I did. I know we can't go back, but I need you to know I care about him." Tom felt the anger lift slightly, replaced by a sense of vulnerability. Then why don't you show it? Why do you always wait until it's too late? His voice cracked, revealing the hurt beneath his frustration. I'm trying, she started, but he cut her off. Trying isn't enough anymore. He sighed, wrestling with the emotions threatening to overwhelm him. You need to step up for him, or it won't matter what you think. As her mouth opened to respond, another raucous shout punctured the air. Billy's laughter flowed like music, a sharp reminder of innocence and joy that they were placing at risk with their adult turmoil. Dad! Are you coming back? Billy's voice rang out, pure and carefree, pulling both parents back into the present. Tom watched his son, the way he wiggled his toes in the grass, radiating an energy that felt almost divine. I have to, Tom said, but turned back to his ex-wife. But I can't do this with you. Not today. He headed back towards the bike, fighting off the weight of the conversation as he locked eyes with Billy. Let us go again. Billy urged, his excitement undimmed. In that instant, Tom felt a flicker of strength, a reminder that it was not just his burden to carry alone. They had each other, and today was theirs. All right, champ. He called out, feeling a resurgence of joy. But this time, let us go slow. Billy smiled, and Tom couldn't help but smile back. But in the corner of his mind, uncertainty brewed. What was she really trying to say? And as they prepared for the next thrill on the bike, a question lingered in Tom's heart: was this ride of theirs about to take an unexpected turn? Tom strapped Billy's helmet on, the warm sunlight glimmering off their bicycle as he adjusted the fit to ensure it was snug. He felt that familiar thrill of adventure wash over him, mingled with the weight of the conversation with his ex-wife. It pulled at him, a reminder of the shadows that loomed not too far behind. Ready, buddy? Tom asked, forcing his voice to sound upbeat, hoping to mask the uncertainty lingering in his chest. Yeah. Let us go. Billy shouted with uncontainable enthusiasm, his small arms shaking with anticipation as he clutched the handlebars. Tom pushed off, their laughter echoing in the air as they sped down the winding path through the park. The wind whipped through their hair, and for a moment, everything else faded away. It was just them, weaving between the trees and enjoying the freedom of the ride. Every turn and dip felt exhilarating, a reminder of the sheer joy of being together in this moment. Faster, Dad! Billy shouted, his voice bubbling over with excitement. All right. Tom laughed, pushing harder against the pedals. Yet, each burst of speed came with the nagging thought of what lay beneath the surface: the conversation, the unknowns about Billy's life they needed to navigate together. But every time he glanced back to see his son's radiant smile, the worries seemed to lift, even if just for a moment. They rounded a bend and came to a clearing where a small group of children were playing soccer. Billy's eyes lit up with admiration. Can we stop, Dad? I want to play. Tom slowed and came to a stop, pulling to the side as Billy hopped off the bike, his excitement spilling over. Okay, buddy, go have fun. Just remember to be careful. Billy nodded emphatically and ran over to join a few other kids on the makeshift field. Tom stood nearby, pulling the bike to the side and leaning against a tree as he watched. His heart swelled watching his son fit in so effortlessly with the other kids, a small part of him wishing to join in, but knowing he had to stay back, to let Billy become his own person. As he stood there, he caught sight of his ex-wife's reflection in the sunlight, still lingering near the path where he left her. Her hands were tangled in her hair, a sign of anxiety that gnawed at Tom's gut. Each moment he watched her felt like waiting for a storm, the tension crackling in the air, ready to unleash unpredictability. Hey, you! Come kick it with us. One of the other kids called to Billy, who beamed and raced toward the ball. Tom's heart tightened. He scanned the field, making sure Billy was safe while simultaneously feeling that old frustration creeping back. How could she not see how needed she was, how this could be their chance to bridge the gaps? Tom! Her voice broke through his thoughts, pulling him back to reality. She approached him cautiously, the uneasiness in her step mirroring the tension in his heart. I know I shouldn't have interrupted your day, but I really need to talk about Billy, she said softly, almost tentatively. Can't it wait until later? Tom shot back, weary of another round of heavy conversation. His eyes flicked back toward Billy, who was now giggling with new friends as they passed the soccer ball. No. She insisted, her voice stronger now. It's a good thing. I promise. Tom straightened, uncertainty giving way to curiosity. What do you mean? He asked, trying to keep his tone steady. Her expression softened. I think Billy deserves to know something important. It's time we both step up, not just for him, but for us. Tom's breath caught in his throat. A part of him wanted to flee, to hide behind the safety of the bike, while another part craved the answers she might hold. Then tell me, he said quietly, feeling the weight of the moment settle heavily on both of them. What revelation could she bring to light, and would it change everything? Tom's heart raced. It felt like standing on the edge of a cliff, peering into the unknown. He searched her face for anything that could offer clarity, yet her eyes were filled with a vulnerability that left him unsettled. Billy, he's not just our son, she said, her voice trembling slightly. There is something about his background that we both avoided discussing. It's time for the truth. He frowned, trying to grasp the weight of her words. What are you talking about? You know how we danced around the topic. She took a deep breath, exhaling slowly. There were things I didn't share, things I thought were better left in the past. But Billy deserves all of us. He deserves to know his roots. Her voice was firm now, stripped of uncertainty. Tom shook his head, disoriented. You're scaring me. What are you saying? Just tell me. The laughter from the soccer field faded into the background, and the world around them blurred. All that mattered was the woman standing before him, the tangled memories that their lives had created together. We need to talk about his parentage, about the family he doesn't know. I didn't just leave to find myself. I left to protect both of you, and I need to tell Billy the truth about his heritage. I never wanted to keep it from him, but I had my fears. Tom felt his chest tighten as he absorbed her words. He wanted to scream, to deny it. No. No. He is our son, just as much mine as he is yours. This is ridiculous. Tom, listen, she pleaded, stepping closer. This isn't about taking him away from you. It's about giving him a larger picture of who he is. This is the part of himself he'll need to embrace as he grows up. I didn't want to hurt you, but I can't stand by any longer. He could hear Billy's excited shouts, each cheer felt like a jump rope around his heart, tightening, squeezing as he struggled to process what he just heard. What if he doesn't take it well? What if this changes everything? Tom stammered, thoughts cascading through his mind like a torrent. Her gaze softened again, a mixture of empathy and resolve. It will be okay. We'll be there for him. Together. Just like we used to be. Tom's heart waged war with his mind. He wanted to protect Billy at all costs, but the very thought that he might not know everything, that he was standing in front of someone with secrets about his son's lineage, made him feel adrift. What do you want me to do? Tom finally asked, weary yet desperate. Well, she breathed, her eyes glistening with unspent tears, let's just start by being honest with him. Offer him the chance to understand himself completely. Can we do that? He looked back at Billy now, laughing and kicking the ball back and forth, truly immersed in childhood freedom. How could he disrupt that? Billy's laughter broke over them like a wave, pulling Tom back into reality. A reality he had to face, whether he liked it or not. And if he has questions I can't answer, then we answer them together, she replied. Let us not be afraid of the truth anymore. It's time we step into the light. Tom swallowed hard, wrestling with his emotions. Did he really have the strength to face this together? But as he struggled, Billy caught his eye from across the field, grinning and waving as if sensing the turmoil brewing between his parents. In that moment, Tom felt something shift inside him, a flicker of hope and determination igniting. "Okay," he said finally, voice steadying. "Let us do this together." As they turned toward the soccer field, a new kind of fear and excitement settled in him. What would they find when they opened those doors? Was he ready for it? For now, the past loomed large, but with it came the promise of a future intertwined. And as if answering Tom's unspoken dread, a shout rang out from the park's far end, "Hey, look! Billy kicks like a pro." It sent a ripple of laughter swirling in the air, drawing them in as one. Determined to take the step forward, Tom took a breath, feeling the ground beneath him shift. What awaited them was still uncertain, but he knew they might finally be uncovering a truth he had avoided. Too long what awaited them might change everything. Would it bring them closer, or tear them apart? It was time to find out. Tom felt an unexpected warmth in the pit of his stomach as he watched Billy play. The boy moved with joy, unaware of the heavy conversation brewing between his parents. Each kick of the ball, every joyful shout sent ripples of innocence through the air, making Tom feel momentarily lighter, as if the weight on his shoulders faded with each laugh. "Remember when we used to play together in the backyard?" his wife said, breaking the spell. Her smile was bittersweet, filled with memories of simpler times. "He kicks just like you did. So full of spirit." Tom's lips twitched into a smile, but it was quickly overshadowed by a growing anxiety. "Yeah, and now, there's so much more to consider." He glanced at her, searching for reassurance but only finding a shared worry reflected in her eyes. "Tom, we have to do this," she said softly, her hand resting on his. "Billy needs to know who he really is, and who we are to him beyond what we've shown." He didn't respond immediately. The warmth and laughter from the field contrasted sharply with the swirling doubt inside. Could he really confront the shadows of the past that had seeped into their lives? Suddenly, a loud cheer broke through his thoughts. His focus snapped back to Billy, who had just scored a goal. The boy ran in circles, arms raised high, as if he'd just won the World Cup. Tom laughed despite himself, caught up in the boy's unrestrained joy. This is what it was all about, he reminded himself. Their son deserved to enjoy every moment without fear. "Look at him," Tom murmured, feeling a lump rise in his throat. "He is so happy." "Yes," she agreed, a tear glistening in her eye, "and we need to give him more reasons to be happy. That includes understanding every part of his life. What if this knowledge shakes his foundation? What if it makes him question everything?" The fear seeped into Tom's voice despite his eagerness to support his wife. "Tom, think about it this way," she urged, stepping a little closer. "The truth can be scary, sure. But it can also be empowering. It's a chance for him to connect with more than just us. To see where he comes from. More importantly, it ties him to a larger family where love is waiting." He mulled over her words. Would embracing the truth actually strengthen their little family unit? Or would it lead to cracks that could pull them apart? As the game progressed, Billy rushed to them, enthusiasm radiating off him. He paused, panting, his face flushed with joy. "Did you see that goal?" he exclaimed, eyes sparkling. "I'm the best." Tom felt a swell of pride, battling with the tumult inside him. "You sure are, champ," he replied, ruffling Billy's hair affectionately. He knelt down to eye level, and for a moment, everything else faded away. "Billy, can we talk for a minute?" The boy's grin faltered slightly, sensing the shift in energy. Tom saw it and found himself questioning if now was the right time. But he knew their conversation had to happen. "About what?" Billy asked, intrigued but hesitant. "About who you are," he started slowly, trying to choose his words carefully, still unsure of the path they were about to embark upon. "Like my soccer skills?" Billy chuckled, breaking the tense air. Tom couldn't help but smile, but he needed to press forward. "Kind of, but also about your family. There's a lot that might surprise you." In that moment, Billy looked back at his mom and then at Tom, questions looming in his wide eyes. He was ready for whatever came next. Okay, he replied, his voice small but determined. As Tom began to explain, he realized that they were standing on the brink of something profound. He needed to focus on his son's reaction and gently guide him through what they were about to discover together. Yet, the uncertainty loomed large. Would this revelation create a bond or unravel the very fabric of their family? A shiver of anxiety traced down his spine as he drew a breath, preparing to dive deeper into a conversation that could change everything. "Billy, this is a little different from soccer," he said hesitantly, the words hanging in the air as they faced the unknown together. Would it lead to understanding? Or would it open a floodgate of emotions that could take time to mend? As they all stood together under the fading sunlight, Tom could feel the weight of the decision ahead. The moment of truth was upon them, and all he hoped was for the strength to navigate the winding road of discovery ahead. Tom took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the sun against his skin. It was no longer just a sunny day at the park, it was a pivotal moment. This chat with Billy and his ex-wife had the potential to shape their lives forever. He glanced at Billy, whose innocent eyes sparkled with both excitement and curiosity. "Billy," Tom began, choosing his words carefully. "There is something important I want to share with you. It's about your family, about who you are." Billy tilted his head, a mix of confusion and intrigue painted across his little face. "Like my grandparents?" he asked, casting a quick glance at his mom for reassurance. Tom shared a glance with her, knowing this was it. They were in this together now. "Sort of, buddy. It's about more than just our family. You have a special background that you can be proud of." The moment hung heavy in the air. Around them, other children were still giggling and playing, blissfully unaware of the emotional gravity settling upon the three of them. Tom took another deep breath. "There are things that have been kept from you, things that your mom and I didn't talk about. But it's time for you to know." Billy's eyes widened, anticipation swirling with uncertainty. "What things?" "It's about your roots. There's a heritage that brings you closer to a bigger family, to people who love you very much, even if you don't know them yet. We've been hesitant to share this, but now we want you to have all of you." Billy shifted, looking from Tom to his mom, feeling the strength of both their presences beside him. Tom paused, searching for his son's reaction. The silence felt like an eternity, stretching out with his pounding heartbeats. "Does it mean I get more family? Like more people to love?" Billy's voice was soft, the innocence of childhood mixing with a wisdom that seemed unexpectedly wise for his age. "Exactly. And they love you just as we do," Tom said, feeling a swell of relief wash over him. "It means embracing who you are, no matter where you come from." Billy mulled over this, his little mind hard at work. The worry settled in Tom's stomach again. Would he understand? Would he feel scared? But then Billy broke into a soft smile, and something clicked in that moment. "I want to meet them." Their hearts lifted with a shared joy. Tom moved closer, kneeling to be at eye level with his son. "This doesn't change anything about us, pal. You'll always be our boy, and we will always be here for you." Billy giggled, his innocence shining brightly through the murky waters of discussion. "Can we have pizza after?" A glimmer of normalcy and anchor in the storm of emotion sparked a laugh from the adults. "Of course," Tom replied, warmth flooding him. He turned to his ex-wife, and for the first time in so long, he felt a unity forged from resolve rather than division. "Thank you," Tom whispered, knowing they shared this moment on a precipice of truth and love. There was no longer a burden of the past, instead, they were positioned to create memories together, to rewrite history with understanding and compassion. As laughter erupted again from the nearby soccer field, it was a reminder that life could be beautiful even in its uncertainties. They could fall together, but perhaps more importantly, they could soar. "All right, champ. Ready to kick that ball again?" Tom said, gently nudging Billy's shoulder. "Yeah." The little boy danced, the shadows of doubt fading, replaced by a bubbling excitement for the future. "Let us go make more goals," Billy shouted, taking off toward his friends. And as Tom watched his son, he felt a shift deep inside. He knew they were both on the brink of a new adventure, one that held promise and healing. His heart felt remarkably lighter, filled with hope that they could build a family, even one that looked different than before. Together, Tom whispered to himself, reflecting on his own journey of transformation. He felt empowered, ready for whatever came next, even if it was uncertain. With every step they took moving forward, one thing was clear: this was the start of something beautiful. As the sun began to dip low, casting warm hues of orange and pink across the sky, Tom smiled. They were writing a new chapter, one built on love, connection, and yes, even truth. And at the end of the day, that was all that really mattered. Now it's your turn to share this journey. You need to subscribe now so you don't miss out on more heartwarming stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help bring more stories to life. Comment below telling us your feelings about this ending and how you connect with it, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let us spread the love.